Today I will be showing you how to do how to move through walls, like hidden walls, and how to create your own type of fog other than the code game that gives you. So there's a code that I've talked about before where you can have black fog toward the end of the room, and you move closer to it, it kind of fades away. But in this case, the fog doesn't go away. The fog clumps up. It's really you can't really see through it. So I'm gonna show you how to do that too. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I took away the fireball so that way I don't get hit there. I'm just gonna grab the key. Then I'm gonna open up the door, and you'll see the fog. See the fog? So it's kind of really thick. So I'm gonna go through it, and then I'll move to the next room. And now you can see that I actually did change the color of the walls. I'll show you that briefly, but it's pretty simple there with the wall color change. So then you're able to collect. And I forgot to show you the hidden wall. So I'll show you in a minute. Let me but that's how to do I'll show you how to do the fog there. So they see now it's a wall there, so you can't get through it. So that's the fog, and let me show you the hidden wall real quick, and then I will demonstrate. Alright, so the hidden wall, you don't need the key for it. You can't go through that wall there, but you can go through this middle wall here. Bam, see? So go through it. Now I'm through it. See, now I have a smaller area to roam around. But this wall right here is solid, but this wall over here is not. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, so let's begin here. Okay, so the first thing I guess I'll show you real quick will be the green wall for the second room. I've talked about that briefly. So all I did was I just duplicated a texture underscore wall 1. I just duplicated this wall right here. I just went to right click, duplicate, and then I went into edit, and I just went into the color change here pretty much, or the color fade, and you can change the colors here. That's red. You can change that to any color you want. See how it changes. Or you can make a completely different pattern for the bricks. It's up to you. Alright, and then after that I just then I basically made one of these objects here. Just duplicated this object. One of these object wall actually was, I think it was like object underscore hit next room wall, or you can use the original wall, object wall 1 underscore horizontal. That's what it is. I just duplicated that, and I just changed the name. You can't, if you change the sprint here, it's going to change the sprint name in the other one as well. You just need to change it in the object name. You don't have to change it in the sprint name, just change an object name, and then make sure it's parented to the object wall basics. And I've talked about object wall basics. That's talking about if you collide with that object wall basics, what's going to happen. See object wall basics right here. When you collide with object wall basics, it's going to make you stop because it's a solid wall. That's what this code's all about pretty much, and I've already talked about that in the previous videos. but just keep that in mind for a second. I'm going to talk about the hidden wall in a minute. So make sure that's parented, object wall basics. Then you're just going to copy the code from object wall 1 underscore horizontal. Just copy this code right here, which is talking about X and Y and Z coordinates and the texture of the background. So you just copy that code and you place it into the new wall image, which is the green image for the second room, and you just change this texture to texture underscore wall 2, because that's what the name is up here, texture underscore wall 2. So that's the new color wall, and that's it. Make sure it's visible, of course, and it's set to parent object wall basic, otherwise he'll go right through it. Make sure that's set to parent, so that way he stops at the wall, because it's just a wall, different wall color. Okay, so that was the first thing, real easy. The second step is going to be the hidden wall. The hidden wall, at the beginning here, there's a hidden wall, which I showed you. Right, this wall right here is hidden. These two are solid. These are solid back here. So can't see the description here, but the description says that it's it's going to be a hidden wall. It should say object hidden wall right here for this one right here. Edit. Yeah, see, I just right clicked on that image there, and it's called object underscore hidden underscore wall. Make sure with hidden wall you do not parent it. Do not parent it with object wall basics, because if you do, then it's going to be treated as a solid wall. So you want to make sure you go through it. So do not parent it to object wall basics. Okay, and you want to do all this separately. So go to add event, do a create, and then you want to you're just doing the same thing. You're taking the wall horizontal here, like the horizontal green. You copy that code there for that wall, and you paste it into the object hidden wall basics, and then you're going to make the wall a certain texture color. So you call it texture underscore wall 1, which is just going to be a normal wall color. And the draw event, add event, do the draw. Then you want to paste this information here, talking about D3D draw underscore wall. All that code right there was in with the object wall basics. So I just copied this code right here from the object wall basics, which talks about the point direction, the global events, and the XYZ coordinates for the wall dimensions. It's talking about how it's going to be positioned when you look at it in 3D mode, how it's going to be laid out. And it's going to be laid out as a wall. That's why this code is needed. So it flips a flat image into looking like it's 3D looking. That's what it's doing here with this code. Alright, so you just copy that from the object wall basics, and you paste it into here under the actions of the draw event. But do not, I repeat, do not parent it to object wall basics, because remember, an object player, you have it collide when you have the player's colliding with object wall basics, which is making him stop at the wall, and you don't want him to stop, you want him to go through it. So that's why you don't want to parent it to the object wall basics. So it is a wall. It looks like a wall, but you can actually go through it. And the reason why you can go through it, because you don't have it parented to the object wall basics. But it still needs the same code as a normal wall does. But just don't parent it to the object wall basics, because the object wall basics is making it feel like it's solid when you touch it, when you hit it, when you move across it. So you want it to go through it, so do not parent it to the object wall basics. Alright, so that's the hidden wall. Now, the fog. Fog is pretty much the same thing as the hidden wall. You're doing the same thing. It's just basically a wall. It's just a wall basically. So I have one going horizontal, I have one going vertical, but you really only need the one going horizontal because I've tried the vertical and it doesn't look right when you have one going this way and one going this way as a cross section. You can see the lines in it. So I just keep it straight across. So the fog, I call it object underscore fog go, and it has the same elements as the wall does. It has a crate, it has a code in there. This code, like I said, is the same thing as the texture code for the wall. I called it texture fog, and the texture fog is this right here. Edit. I just made a gray slab. I just colored it gray, added darker gray spots, and then I went into the image and then did a fade, and also did a opacity. Lower the opacity so you can see through it, and then fade to the corners here. Alright, and then width and height 128, same as the regular wall image, and then the draw event is going to be the same information, so it's going to rotate the flat object to make it look like it's 3D straight up in front of your face. But do not parent it to Object Wall Basics, because if you do, it's going to treat it as a solid object, and you don't want it just bump up against it. You want to actually go through it. So, like I said, it's the same kind of setup as doing a hidden wall, but you're doing fog instead, where you can actually see through it because you made opacity on the fog, so you can see it's transparent. But see, what I did was I clustered it up. I clustered it up so it looks very thick. If you didn't want it thick, you can just take out some images, you know. So you could potentially take some of these blocks out here, and it's not so thick when you look at the fog. When you go through the first room at the beginning, it's up to you on how much fog you want. And this is just another way of doing fog. You could just use the code that was provided at the beginning. So when you go down here, you can see down the hallway there, it looks foggy where you can't see the walls until you get really close. So that's one way of doing the fog, which is using code. See, but if you want to do it a different approach, is how I showed you how to do it. Is treat it as a wall object, but you can go through it. See, now you can see it, but it's not so thick because I took out some of the lines in it in the walls. So it's not as thick. So that's how you do fog, and how to go through walls, and how to change the color of the wall for the next room. I'll give you this GameMaker 8.1 file, and I'll show you a couple more tricks for Fake 3D, and then eventually I will show you how to move this 3D game, or this Fake 3D game, onto your mobile device, but that'll be later down the road, pretty soon. I wouldn't say too far down the road, but I'll show it to you a little later on. Once I get some of the bugs fixed or something for the Android device for the Fake 3D. Alright, thanks for watching.